So we are in a newer, I think it's a 2025 Tesla Model 3 dual motor long range. And I just wanted to give my impression from a 2020 owner owning an older Model 3 and noticing the newer features here in the new Model 3s and the new hardware 4. First thing that stood out to me are the turn signals are thumb buttons here next to the scroll wheel, which I actually really like. This makes so much sense to me. I wish this was just the new norm. It has taken me a while to get used to there not being a stock here, but I definitely prefer the buttons way better. Makes way more sense to me. Also, another thing that stood out to me too was the road noise. Not that ours I thought was a real bad issue, and I know a lot of people complain about the road noise or say it's bad or they really pay attention to that. Maybe it's just because I'm used to louder cars, but our Model 3 has not really been an issue. But I've noticed this one is a lot quieter. The road noise is a lot quieter in this one. And it overall just feels smoother. The steering feels smoother. The takeoff feels smoother. Just the suspension feels better. I mean, it's a newer car, so I imagine just everything gets better with time. So it's not a surprise that all of this is better. I just kind of give it my impression, things I'm actually noticing. And this being that whole wheel too, I don't know what the horsepower is on this one, but it definitely has way more go than ours. And ours, I thought, had a pretty good takeoff. And ours is just the standard range plus. But this one, the dual motor, and I'm sure just the newer models, just have way more go to them. Like you feel that way more. I'd say our car's maybe 50-60% of what this is, just based on feeling. So the hardware for full self-driving is significantly better than our hardware 3 version. I've heard, and the hardware 3 version is good. I always thought it was great. I didn't know how much better it could actually get, but I've heard everybody say it's so much better, and it is way better. It just feels more like a human driving. It slows, it comes to stops more slowly. It gradually takes off way better. It makes turns more smoother. It's been handling a lot of these back roads we've been on with no lines or anything on them, and some are narrow. It's handling it way better. We also had a truck kind of over in our lane a little bit, and this thing navigated that no problem. Just kind of got over a bit. So I trust this way more, and it's not nagging me all the time like in the hardware 3, which I understand it's not as good as this. So there's a lot more you have to pay attention to with that. But this one has been it's night and day difference. Also, we went through a construction site where there was a 4-way stop and there was somebody waving traffic in the middle, and the car, we weren't the car in front, there was a car in front of us. They went, and then our car also followed in full self-driving. So I don't know if it's recognizing the person and their gestures that somebody's waving the car to go. And if that is, I wonder if anybody could just stand at the road and tell the car to go, if it'll just go. I don't know. But I thought that was really interesting. The steering wheel too, the different design. I like the new logo design inside the car and on the back. This is, I forget they call this red, but the red looks good. It's not my personal favorite, but the red does look cool. I wouldn't buy it. I'm not a red guy, but if I was, this would be a red I would go with. The interior is almost the same. The biggest difference is the LED bar that comes across the whole side here, which is really cool. I really like it. It makes it feel almost bigger. It feels more like a ship, the way it curves around. And there's some fun effects you can do with it too, where it'll light with the music as music's playing. And I heard there's an update coming, or maybe it isn't here, where if you put your turn signal on, half of this will light up red if somebody's in your blind spot, which I think that's really cool. But I do think that's really neat. I do like it. It goes all the way to the back doors, which I didn't know. Also, one of the bigger updates too is the screen in the back. I don't know what year they started doing this in, but that screen's pretty cool, where somebody in the back can control their own temperature, which sounds like it should have been a thing before. But in ours, the person in the back can't control the temperature fans. It's all controlled up front. You can also play games back there, connect the controller while somebody's driving, watch Netflix, YouTube. So that's really cool. I think it's about like an 8-inch screen. I don't know how comfortable that'd be for like long road trips, because you're always looking down. But then again, people are probably used to looking down their phones all the time too. Something new here too is the doors have this felt touch, which I kind of like. I mean, I don't love it, but it's just like felt material. And I think there's this like cloth on above the vent ports here. It looks like a sound bar, but I think the speaker's behind it actually. I think it's up there. I think it's just a texture piece. Also, the cup holders, I don't know if I like, because I had a smaller can in here, and it's got these like little pressure bumps to to kind of hold multiple sizes of cans. But I pushed my can in there, it almost like crushed the can, and then I popped and spilled a little bit. So it was something I wasn't sure if I liked or not. The steering wheel design is really comfortable. Definitely feels like it's designed for those thumb buttons. Your thumb just naturally lays in there for those turn signals. There is you got Grok too. That's something we don't have. Is Grok is awesome. I like the to activate the full self-driving. It's the scroll wheel you push in, since there's no stock to just kick that on, and to disengage it, you push it again. The steering wheel is also heated, which I think is so cool. That's something I would love to have in mine, which I've not tried. It's been hot summer right now, but I think that's a really cool feature. The seats have the cooling feature, which I've always heard about, never experienced, but it's pretty cool. That is something that I didn't think I really wanted till trying them. I think it's pretty cool to have. So this is a loaner we have while our Model 3 is getting worked on. We're pretty much having all of the upper and lower control arms replaced, and I can make a whole other video talking about that. So we only have this for a couple days, but I think the one thing we're going to miss from this is the range. That, I think, alone is probably worth an upgrade in the future. The other features are great. The hardware 4 is night and day. Like, I don't even know if it almost feels like paying for full self-driving now in hardware 3. It's still good, it's great, but autopilot does most of what I want out of it, especially compared to this. This almost feels like this is the real deal. This is the real full self-driving. So the biggest difference I noticed that we're probably spoiled within this one when we get our 2020 back is the range. Ours is a standard range plus, and we're only getting maybe 150 to 180, like barely 200 miles if we're lucky, on that older battery. This one, I don't even know what the rated range is on this, but it's significantly more for the driving that we've done. For comparison, a rough unscientific comparison, we left our house at 77% on an hour drive. That only took about, I think it was 11% of the battery to get there. Or in our car, that would probably be like a 30-40% hit on our battery. So that is something we're spoiled with here, is the range of this is a significant upgrade. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons that people are held back from buying an EV is the range. That's one of the biggest things to consider, is that lifestyle change of making sure you're charged, you can make it to where you're going to go, where are all the chargers at, where you're going, do you have time to charge, how many times do you need to stop to charge? And having a battery at this capacity, that's kind of the dream lifestyle of owning an AV, is having a battery. It's always ready to go when you wake up, fully charged, and you don't have to think about stopping all the time when you're out. You can charge at home or destination. If you're on a road trip and you're not really pushing it and really stretching the miles, like for us, we do have to consider a lot of where we're going and how much driving we're going to be doing, and it does play a factor. And I think that's just part of owning an EV. But to have less to worry about, knowing you can hold more of a charge in a car like this, that is something that I think is going to be hard to go back to. Even just having this for a couple days and just seeing that massive difference. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video with my impressions as a 2020 first and only Tesla owner of a Model 3, and then getting the opportunity to be able to drive and experience the newer, I think this is 2025, Tesla dual motor Model 3.